is shining, shining, nice and bright, bright. The birds are chirping, chirping,
and I'm ready to fly.
Time to get ready, ready
for another day.
No one can stop us. Oh, we gon' learn to play. Oh, every day we learn and play.
We do our best, so we'll be great.
You do your best, best,
and I don't mind.
So let's get ready, ready, ready. 'Cause it's about that time. Good morning, morning to you. Good morning, how do you do? Good morning, time to be great. Good morning, time to wake. Good morning,
Your dance and play.
Good morning,
Sun start today.
Good morning, in your eye. Good morning,
reach for the sky.
Good morning, 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 morning to you. Good morning, 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 how do you do? Good morning, 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 morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning, 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 how do you do?
Good morning.
You see me on my grind.
Woo. Stars got to shine.
I'm a supernova.
Yeah, you see me taking over. Yeah,
I'm on the move. I got a way to strike to it. So let me hear you say, every day we gon' learn and play.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the
good
Rolling
morning.
Out AM Wake Up Show.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, Cass in the city. What's popping on this Tuesday? Morning, Cass in the city.
What's popping?
Popping hot, popping down. The Confederate lost. The Confederate lost.
Meaning Confederacy.
Exactly. I knew Terry would have something to say. Take the bait. Statues coming down every single day. Make it rain, make it rain, make it rain.
Confederacy is, Confederate statues are coming down, but what's going up are the coronavirus cases in 25 states. So, So we need to talk about that in terms of the actions of your compatriots here, in regards to people not adhering to the advice of the medical community to stay indoors and stay away from each other. Because I told you last week that 19 states had gone up, no, 12 states. Then it became 19 states. And now it's 25 states have increased. So this situation continues to get out of control. And that's why doctors are saying that more than 200,000 people are expected to die by September. So,
well, good morning to you too, King James. Appreciate that. Good morning.
That'll lift you up, Romeo. That will lift you up. He's gonna lift you up. That is the lift me up. 200,000 are gonna die.
Yeah,
they need 100,000 more volunteers. They're looking for 100,000 more volunteers.
Oh man.
Yeah.
And the worst thing is, the worst. Good morning, Shirley Carter. We love you. The worst thing is, Romeo, there are people that don't have any choice but to go to work, to go to the grocery store, to be there. And then people walk in without a mask. Now you're at work and you're feeding your kids.
Crazy. All the way around.
And every institution has not changed to one policy: wear your mask in public. If you're gonna go in a space, I mean, how hateful can you be? You didn't get tested.
Right.
Have no clue. I'm just going to visit my friend. Your friend been turning up all 3 months. Your friend said they got a little cold, and you still go visit them and smoke some weed.
Right. You still go over there just to smoke.
Come on, man.
You know what?
Or go to that concert, or go to some drive-in concert, and then everybody gets off the cars, producer Portia said it looked like they all stank. So she said it looked like it stank. Girls that look twerking on the cars, huh?
I said we should just do the going up dance. No, we should go ahead and just certify the going up dance, Munson. We should just be like,
we might well make it. They want it to go up. Everybody, it's going up. It's going down. Only if you stay and wear your mask around. Your silly face should stay in place. Going down, or you're gonna be erased. Erased. Erased.
Well,
if you don't want to be erased, stay in.
And here's the funny part, Cass in the City. So I spoke to the organizer, and I'm trying to get her to come on the show because they have another concert playing. Another outside concert playing. And this time she said they're going to be responsible and only allow 1,000 people in there. Isn't that great?
It's going up. It's going up. If you don't want to be erased, wear a mask on your face. If you don't want to be erased, wear a mask on your face. If you don't want to be erased, wear a mask on your face.
Oh, yeah, what I don't understand is that how from that picture did producer Portia detect some stench from that video of them twerking on the cars and packed in. I mean, she said it looked like they stank. I mean, what stench emitted from that particular video? Maybe she'll tell us.
I think Portia was there.
Oh, that's why. That's why.
Yeah. You know that crowd shot. She got that crowd shot.
I doubt Portia was there. Cut it out.
Yes. Oh, Princess. Yeah, you're right. Good morning, man. Shout out to everybody on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. It's Tuesday. It's Turn Up Tuesdays from Rolling Out AM. So welcome, because we here at rollingout.com.
You hear my song? If you don't want to be erased, wear that mask on your face. If you don't want to be erased, wear that mask on your face. That was my whole shout out to Uncle Luke. He and I are in the studio right now. If you don't want to be erased, wear that mask on your face. Check it up. Check it up.
It's going to be a hit. You need to get the City Girls on it too.
Yeah, if you don't want to be erased, wear that mask on your face.
Get Cass in the City on it so she can drop them lyrics. I know y'all keep denying it, but Cass in the City is gonna drop some music on Rolling Out Records.
She got that new hit. I fell in love with Zoom. Oh baby, I'll see you real soon. I fell in love on Zoom. Oh baby, and I'll see you real soon. I look forward to being in the room. I fell in love on Zoom.
We got all the songs this morning.
Hey, we making the hits over here, baby. You got it. It is a primary, huh, Cass?
It sure is.
Kentucky, New York, be counted. Virginia, no more Mitch McConnell, young brother leading in the race.
Yep, definitely get out today. Go vote, wear your mask, wait in the lines. Hopefully they won't be too long, but make sure you exercise your right to vote.
Is the style of voting, would you say it's still considered old? You know, like going to the, going to the polls, standing in the lines, like, how we can just go on our phone and tap a button to pay a bill.
They can't allow you to do that because they're trained people who work the polls. There's like systems and technology in place to make sure there's no.
Well, I think
issue.
Voting, like many things, Romeo, hadn't caught up. Technology went way past that. You've got recognition, you've got the same issues, but definitely it's on the horizon. The other thing is convenience. Part of the reason is voter suppression. Part of what I want young people to understand is you want to go have your vote counted sometimes for voter suppression. You know, sometimes take a walk and walk with your ancestors. Take a walk and think about the dogs that were sicked on people so that they couldn't. Take the walk. Don't be so lazy. Have the experience. Stop not having it. Go vote with your parents. Go vote with your friends. Make it an activity to get a brother out of prison when you're actually getting a new judge and a new DA. You know, make it part of the love. Make it a love of self. Voting is a love of self. Voting is self-preservation. You know, it's an inspiring thing, B. So yeah, you could do it and not, but sometimes you want to see your community. Sometimes you want to have the experience. Don't rob yourself by trying to make it cheap and quick. Everything don't need to be quick, you know?
Well, I think like you said, for the young people, and Cass could jump in on this, like the first time we went voting, like during Obama, the reason that it was fun, I remember there were this sounds bad, but for millennials, I remember there was concerts all over. Like Beyonce was doing a concert here, and Katy Perry was doing, like all of them were doing this big movement. I don't think people make voting interesting anymore. Or
people are. I mean, that's why you see Snoop going, so that you can know that it's already interesting. You might want to just change your lens because you're a leader. So part of it is what they hear Romeo say. They're going to hear Romeo say, you know what? It's our culture to actually go vote. That's part of our tradition. It's Romeo's tradition to vote. That's why your parents say, Romeo, you like the concert, but go vote. Romeo, you have to vote. It's your tradition of intelligence. It's when you have intelligence. They try to suppress our vote by making, well, if it's not cool. No, it's a principle of love. It's a principle of intelligence. I understand that my local guy, that my homie who just got pulled over is going to be in front of a judge, needs to be in front of a judge of compassion. I gotta have a judge that cares about my community, is interested. So when we think about it, that's what voting impacts us for a culture. Like we talk about creating culture. Our culture ain't just music. Our culture is so expansive. And we have a tradition of understanding. It's just like, you know, your zip code. You need to be boosting your zip code. Take a brother. You know, you got to expand your brothers who are going to vote.
So Rodney Perry just checked in, and he says, great point, Munson. But Terry, when does technology catch up? Tyru Brooks says, we're about to charge Munson Steve for these vocal tortures.
Hater raid.
Well, I mean, but at least Rodney Perry can come back on, man, because, you know, he said I was the man yesterday. So he's welcome back on the show, Cass. You know
He's
what I'm
welcome? Okay. We got to get you, Rodney.
What's up, Rodney? What's up, Taru?
Eddie Cruz, Eddie Rodriguez, I'm sorry, Nakori Jamal, and Kevin Cipollini from Philadelphia.
Trust in him.
So I agree, man.
I don't know how many times I gotta say it, Romeo. Trust in him.
And hint.
Rolling Out Music presents Trust in Him.
Trust in him and let him know what's wrong. Take his hand and keep holding on. Trust in him, just like the Bible says. Be of service and you won't regret. He got power that you'll never see. And he got power that you can't conceive. And he's got love for every one of us. All you really got to do is you just gotta trust. Give it up to him. Give it up right now. Give it up to him. Give it up right now.
All right, that's up there.
Give it up to him. Give it up right now.
Give it up to him. It's a little bit out of the lab. Just a little bit. How you like that, Cass?
I like it. Sounds good. Visuals are good too.
Don't you trust in him, everybody. Put your faith in something. Anyhow, let's take it to the next level. You got it. Go ahead, Cass in the city. Carrie. Organic flow.
I know you.
Everybody.
Good morning.
How are you guys?
Good. How are you?
What's up in the D? What's up in the D? What's up in the D?
Guess what? I'm checking in from Pittsburgh today.
Okay.
Yes.
Shout out to Pittsburgh.
Shout out to Pittsburgh. There is so much yoga in Pittsburgh. I'm loving it.
Oh, wow.
Gotta switch up the vibration sometimes. I love the conversation this morning, guys, about don't smoke with friends. I think a great thing we could do with friends is breathe with friends, vote with friends. I love the message this morning.
Yeah.
How'd you like my record, Carrie?
You know what?
Trust him.
I had a lot of laughs before I got on. Singing is good for the soul. Maybe maybe Thursday we'll do an Om. Have you guys tried to do an Om before?
I think I ate one time.
Yeah.
It wasn't really my favorite thing, you know.
So basically, Om is a sound we create, which brings us in tune with the vibration of the universe. And it's a really healing sound, which is why people do these sound healings now with sound bowls. But we won't do an Om today. But singing, rapping, all of that is healing and brings joy to us. So I enjoyed all the songs this morning. Loved it.
Oh, do we get to hear your vocals before we start? Do we get to hear your vocals?
Listen, I am not fortunate enough like Cass to be dropping a mixtape.
I am not fortunate enough.
Okay.
They want me to be fortunate enough so bad, but I am not either, Carrie. I have to leave that to the real singers out there.
Thanks, Cass. I appreciate it.
You might sing because you got the vocals.
How'd you like my song, Trust in Him?
You know, you have to. I think those are things, it's like a mantra almost. You know, we talked about mantras on one of our episodes. I think trust in him and saying that is a mantra. It's an affirmation. It's something that we can do to deal with our coronavirus anxiety. You know, how are you guys feeling about coronavirus right now because it's coming back up?
Overwhelming for sure.
Yeah, I
Scary.
haven't hugged my mom in months. Let's say that.
Oh, yeah, like it's a strange time right now. So I think in addition to increasing our singing and rapping, we should work to increase our immunity and our lung capacity. And we've tried a few breathing exercises on here, and most of the time the response is, wow, I was out of breath, or that was really challenging. But when we're doing breathing exercises, it's really good to think of our lungs as just another muscle in our body. And we're doing these reps, building the muscle every time we practice a breathing exercise. You know, so it's good to practice it every day and build that lung capacity, especially during coronavirus, guys, because that's one of the things that happens when people get coronavirus. Their lungs start to get filled with this fluid that takes them out. So it's really important for our lungs to be strong and our immune systems to be up. So we'll do a couple or one exercise today that can strengthen our lung capacity. Are you guys ready?
Yep.
How you feeling, Martin? Did you do a breathing exercise today?
Twice.
What did you do? What breathing exercises?
I did a parasynthetic belly meditation this morning.
A synthetic one?
Parasynthetic, wasn't it? Where I pushed my belly out and
Parasympathetic.
Thank you, Kaz.
Well, you know, I just like for y'all to say it right so everybody get it. Parasympathetic breathing meditation before I got up. And then I've been practicing a little bit of that on my run and walk in the morning at 6 a.m. So it's
beautiful.
It's been a great thing. The weather has been kind of wet, so it's very humid and cool. But it's been a great meditative, transformative experience. I'm looking forward to more. Coming up with my own meditations. So
beautiful, beautiful. Well, we are going to practice a breathing exercise together today, which is equal breathing. We'll work to cultivate some homeostasis in our body. Where's King James to give us some vocabulary? Can he explain or anyone what homeostasis means?
I tell you, he's playing hooky all the time.
Hold on.
He's playing hooky again. I invited him in.
I hear him. Come on, King James.
I said, Carrie is my dear sensei, yogi sensei, and I told him to come on and join us. You know.
Hold on, Carrie. I can't even pronounce what you just said. I don't even know what you just said. So I'm gonna need you to clean that up. What did you just say?
These are date traps, Carrie. He used to act dumb, and then the girl he hit him with one of them big old. That's part of his thing.
Yeah, but according to the girls in my high school, I didn't have to. So I did a very good job of playing dumb because I sat in the back of the class anyway. So what I want you to do, Carrie, I need you to repeat. Carrie, I need you to repeat that word. What did you say?
Homeostasis.
Okay, what is that? I mean, that sounds like a dish.
Homeostasis is basically a tendency towards relative stability in our bodies. So you ever heard of someone saying like, I'm thrown off, or that person is imbalanced, or I'm off today? That could be speaking to them having some sort of chemical imbalance or just being off physiologically or psychologically. So our body is always trying to achieve homeostasis, which is maintained by psychological processes. So
okay, why couldn't you just say equilibrium? Okay, that's a small word.
Down. I think equilibrium is a big word too. What does equilibrium mean, King James?
Carrie, you're not going to do that to me right now. You know, I detect a bit of sarcasm and condescension in your voice, and I don't appreciate the vituperative language that you are using right now against me. So I'm going to dismiss myself from this process because you hurt my feelings. You know what I'm saying?
No, he's in his feelings.
Yeah. And she reminds me. She reminds me of that girl.
So impressed with your vocab. No shade. No sarcasm.
She reminds me of that girl in that high school that used to pick on me all the time and have me in my feelings. So, anyway, you said it's homeostasis.
Homeostasis.
Stasis.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's pathetic. And so you said it's about getting your getting your balance back, right?
Yes, getting our balance, because our bodies are constantly adjusting to these external and internal conditions in order to maintain homeostasis. Right now, this is a lot for us to deal with. Do we go to the party with our friends or do we not? Do we go hug our moms or do we not? It's a lot of adjusting for us. So it's really important that we achieve or try to maintain this internal balance, or we're going to be thrown off just trying to figure out what to do in this COVID world to stay safe.
I think the message has been so mixed in the media.
Yes.
So part of the idea of fear is based on the uncertainty of your behavior.
Absolutely.
If stay in place and you have the benefit, because most Black and brown people, 70% of most Black and brown people that work don't have the benefit of staying in place.
Right.
So when you think about that, our community is just under assault from people who aren't wearing masks. But if you know where you're going, if you're washing your hands and you've altered your behavior over the last 3 months, then you centered yourself on what's necessary and important for this life. If not, then you're saying you're an actuary scientist and you're going to take your risk with your behavior. So risky behavior is what we are seeing in our community when people are turning up and saying, I'm willing for a thrill, not a spiritual growth. So this is the moment to reset, but are we going to choose to connect with ourselves, which is why we're here with you with Organic Flow.
And while we're here with your mixtape about don't want to be erased, you got to wear your face mask. Like, we need those mantras too and those reminders. So we're remembering to be safe and try to maintain that homeostasis, or as King James said, our equilibrium. So let's go ahead and practice that equal breathing. So with equal breathing, you want to try to cultivate this equal inhalation and exhalation. So previously, we've done an extended exhalation. So you breathe in for 3 seconds and exhale for 4. Today should be a little lighter on your lungs, but still a good tool to increase your lung capacity. So we'll breathe in to the count of 3, and we'll breathe out to the count of 3. Easy, right?
Breathing in through the
nose, only through the nose. That's an important distinction. Thank you for bringing that up. When we breathe through our nose, Romeo's messing with his nose. When we breathe through our nose, we have all of this hair in our nose, whether you can see it or not, and it serves as a filter to block out germs and infection and all sorts of things coming our way. Whereas when we breathe through our mouth, there's no filter there. We're also less aware of how we're breathing and our rate of respiration when we breathe through our mouths. So really always try to breathe through your nose, but especially in today's breathing exercise, breathe through your nose.
Okay. So is this one of the exercises where my posterior is posted in the chair?
Posterior always posted.
Okay, got it. All right.
Yes, and actually one day, I'm manifesting this with Munson that we'll practice yoga together. But when we do, I'll show you another way to get grounded where you actually have to pull away that extra flesh that we all have under the seat to get a little bit more grounded. So yeah, thanks for lifting that. So go ahead, find a comfy seat, plant the cheeks, and go ahead and close your eyes and close your lips. And just for a few moments, we're going to do one of our body's greatest jobs together, which is trying to maintain homeostasis. And we'll work to do so by balancing our breath. And you can say that to yourself. You could silently.
Oh, okay. She's trying to give me a hint. Okay.
Breathe. You might even still feel or hear the vibration of your voice. But work to feel and hear your breath as you breathe in through your nose and as you breathe out through your nose. And on your next inhalation, breathe in for 3, 2, 1, and breathe out for 3, 2, 1. Fill your lungs up, and your chest, and your throat with breath. And then release it through your nose for 3, 2, 1. Breathe in for 3, 2, 1. And release the breath to 3, 2, 1. Breathe in for 3. And breathe out for 3. Breathe in and out. Last one, breathe in through your nose, fill up for 3. And let the breath go for 3 seconds. Slowly open your eyes. Come back feeling a little bit more balanced, closer to this plane of homeostasis or equilibrium.
Homeostasis. Homeostasis.
I heard birds. I was so
I heard birds too, but it sounded really like tranquil.
You heard
So
bird?
I enjoyed that. Yeah. Whoever
Good.
has the birds chirping.
Romy, I think she was playing birds. We all heard birds.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
I was in the zone.
Return to your homeostasis.
But no, that's so beautiful. You want to connect with everything or within you, but if you notice those things around you, like the birds outside, that's all beautiful. That's better than noticing white noise or all the chaos outside of our bodies and our homes at this time. So that's beautiful observations.
Thank you,
How's everybody
Carrie.
feeling?
Hey, Carrie, I also got a photo. So me and Munson, our friend Tammy, who lives in Toronto, he actually was out at the park and some people were doing yoga and he sent me this photo. Tell me what you think. This is yoga in Toronto.
This
I don't know.
is so cool.
I'm down
I
for
love
it.
this and I want to go. Munson, can
Bubble
you take us on a
yoga.
rolling out trip here?
Let's do it, but not now.
Bubble yoga.
So
This is probably what we need to be safe from Corona and do yoga. I love it.
Yeah.
So
that's
you can
cool.
get your own bubble. I was gonna ask you,
Bring
do you
your
know
bubble.
about it?
No, actually, this reminds me, I want to bring my friend on the show, I Rise Yoga. She's based in Toronto and has a yoga wellness collective for Black women. And I want to ask her about this picture you sent, Romeo, and also if she can share with us some breathing. So I'm so happy you brought that up. Love Toronto, and shout out to I Rise Yoga. So if you're watching this, go check them out on Instagram. They're a beautiful Black-based group in Toronto. Munson, I see you over there.
Definitely.
I just got so hyped thinking about it. I love her.
We love to have them.
Why not? I mean, expressions of love are important. They're in season, you know, they're always in season, you know, just in case they didn't know.
King James, I got some.
I have an important question to Carrie.
Yes.
What is the difference when you're breathing in and out of your nose instead of breathing in your nose and out your mouth? How do you differentiate? Why is it, you know what I'm saying, there's a difference?
Because you want to feel your breath. You don't feel it coming out as much. If you, right now, everyone, if you just close your mouth, take a deep breath in, press the breath through your nose. You set your little septum on fire with your breath, and you want to be aware of every single inhalation, exhalation when you're practicing these breathing exercises. So when you breathe through your nose, you not only hear your breath, but you actually feel your breath. So it's just one of the ways you can maintain that focus on your breathing when you breathe through your nose.
I see.
Yeah,
Right.
Does it help you to get back to your homeostasis quicker?
Yes.
I see. Okay. Yeah.
Tap into that equilibrium.
Rodney Perry just checked in. He said, I better open my eyes. Carrie got me driving with my eyes closed. We got to get Rodney Perry out.
Have to.
We got to get Rodney Perry.
Don't meditate and practice pranayama and drive.
Make sure you park first.
Make sure you park.
Did you and Cass in the city decide on similar hairdos today? Is that what it was? Because we didn't get a memo, you know.
Great minds think alike.
Truly, we were mindful this morning.
We see how quick she was. Great minds think alike. You know. Go ahead, Cass. Go ahead. It's okay.
Carrie, you see how they do me?
That breather got a sharp cast. They're not up on it.
I know. They're not ready. It's okay.
No,
get in our yoga bubbles.
It's there. We got our hats on. We're there.
No. The Cass is trying to stunt on us. You know what I'm saying? So we had to. She's trying to flex.
Well, we want to thank you. Can you give us a positive thought before you leave? Just quickly before we get canceled by our producer.
Honestly, I'm just so excited. I'm here in Pittsburgh with my friend, and she keeps saying she's going to have a city girl summer. And I love it. I just think that means
what does that mean?
Joyful. You know, I have a lot of interpretations for it, but I feel the same. I want to have a safe city girl summer, But I'm all about that energy right now, and I want to do it joyfully, peacefully this summer.
Do we need to play that video again? Do we need to
We
play
might
that video
need
again?
to.
City Girl Summer.
Yes, that's what I'm interested in having. So everybody on that note, peace.
Peace.
Well,
Peace. Thank you again,
One of
Carrie.
Munson's raps.
Yeah.
All right, Carrie. From Terry to Carrie. Take care.
Put a mask
From
on your
Terry
face
to
so you
Carrie.
don't get erased. Put a mask on your face so you don't get erased. Hey, hey, hey.
Cassidy, City Girls are back. Cassidy, I told you yesterday.
I know,
City
every
Girls.
summer. They
All
come
right. Well, it's rolling out AM, the wake up call. Cass in the city. Let's get it going on. Boom.
Let's get it going. Okay. Well, speaking of the new normal and concerts, we were talking about parking lot concerts, but actually Live Nation, trusted, organization who puts on concerts around the country, has announced they're doing live drive-in concert series from July 10th to 12th. It'll take place in Missouri, Nashville, Indiana, but this is kind of like just an initial experiment for how these concerts will go. They'll be able to drive into a parking lot, amphitheater. Only 4 people can be in each car. You'll have 2 empty parking lot spaces between each vehicle. So that's like your designated area to tailgate, I guess. So that was just a photo of like how they'll have it set up in the parking lots. So not like this I think Live Nation may have some stricter policies as well as people in place to make sure it's not that crazy. But up next in technology, for all those Apple Watch lovers out there, Apple has introduced this new feature amidst this coronavirus. The Watch OS 7 technology software will allow you to know how long you should wash your hands. So it has this technology on there to count you down and make sure you're cleaning your hands for the proper amount of time. So I thought this was pretty cool because, they mentioned a lot of people do that quick rinse and they're out and they're not cleaning all the bacteria off their hands. So that's really important right now so that you stay coronavirus free, and, just so that you're healthy, because washing your hands is a big part of killing that bacteria, viruses, and everything else. So this was interesting to me. If you don't want to buy Apple Watch, you can always, set a timer on your phone. In TV, Greenleaf, popular series on OWN, is back, season 5 tonight. So make sure you guys go check that out. 9 p.m. Eastern time, 8 p.m. Central time. So that'll be interesting. We're going to probably get one of the actresses from there to come on and discuss, this season, what we can expect. But Greenleaf fans are super excited for season 5. So you guys check that out tonight on OWN. And obviously birthdays. Former American Idol judge Randy Jackson turned 64 years old today. So we want to wish him a happy birthday. Shout out to him. We have our birthday song. We can cue that up. But if not, we can go to someone else's report. But, we just want to shout out everyone's birthday who is celebrating today. It's a crazy time, but we want to wish you a safe and happy birthday.
Yeah. Yes. Romeo International.
So this is what's going on. Good morning. Rolling out AM, rolling out in the morning. Everybody on Facebook. Kelvina. I hope I pronounced your name right, wrong at the same time. I love you still. Black Lives Matter rally went down in Richmond, VA with Pusha T and Trey Songz. Now, I don't know if y'all know this, but Pusha T just had a baby, number 1. And then number 2, Trey Songz has been going fire hot on Instagram. Trey Songz has turned into the activist / calling you out for your shit / putting people on blast / Black Lives Matter. Me and Cass was talking the other day, and literally, and this is no joke, he is probably turned his Instagram into just an informational piece for Black people, what's going on, what's happening, because he's trying to get the word out there. So shout out to Trey Songz for actually taking a step as an artist to put the information out there, let it be known. Shout out to Pusha T. I hope you and Drake can make a song together one day, possible. Maybe, I don't know, Cass. But here's what you can get, all my rappers. All my rappers. I know y'all been waiting for it. You can go to Walmart and get your own little baby 4PL chain. That's right. For the low price of $34.99, you can get you a little baby. I can't even finish, Kat. You can get you a little baby chain. That's right. But here's the thing, though. Little baby said, Walmart, what the hell y'all doing, man? I did not approve this. You're not gonna profit off of my brand, because Lil Baby does have the #1 song in the country right now that he is put out in support of Black Lives Matter. But Walmart decided to capitalize off of it and say, you know what? We're gonna make some Lil Baby chain. I'm gonna get King James one. I'm gonna get you a Lil Baby chain, man, for $34.99, so you can be a part of the 4PL family, man. And that's what's going on socially.
Oh, okay, I appreciate it, bro. Appreciate it.
No problem, man. Problems after that.
No problem. First of all, the funny part before we move on is, who's walking into Walmart and going to nothing? There's nothing wrong with Walmart. There's nothing wrong with the jewelry store. But who's really walking in there saying, "Hey, you got that new little baby"? Like, come on, man.
I'm sure a lot of people will be walking in there today. Sales might be up.
Sales might be up. But that's what's going on socially, man. Rollingout.com, where you can get all your news, information, and what's happening now. What else is going on, fellas?
Cool.
Come on, man. You know what it is. It is happening. It is happening. It is happening. Every single day, there are creatives who are making a difference in life for the culture. Let us not fall asleep. You know, Romeo, we don't want people to fall asleep on this virus. Right. And there are creatives that have spent their time, and clearly, King James, you understand how important it is not to fall asleep while coroning. I think that's probably a song, or don't get drunk off the turnip on Corona. Like, you know, that's another one of those songs. Like, don't get drunk off the turnip, you know, or I got Corona while turning up, you know, that's not a cool move, you know. So it might feel good at the moment, but I think it's also part of the exhaustion that your human spirit is feeling when you're not centered and you're in Corona, because you really got to stay aware. So we've got a phenomenal young man, creative, kind of sharing the creativity of messaging. Because posting with a positive, what you posting positive over there, Cassidy, each day? Posting with a purpose.
Always trying to keep my followers informed, positively influencing them, encouraging them that the movement is not over. So I'm always trying to use my platform. So I think it's big when artists, you know, kind of get that light bulb and say, you know, I have 34,000 followers. I got 400,000 followers. Like, let me put something out that's important, you know. So shout out to Trey Songz for that, because a lot of people are sitting back not saying anything.
You know, we've got Jason Hargrove, RIP, Jason Hargrove. If you check your chat, you'll see our next guest was part of that whole movement to bring our awareness up. So I think it's really important.
And Facebook, hey, Sandy Harrington, Yana Harmon, Melody Vaughn. We appreciate you checking in this morning. Everybody on Facebook and Twitter, how y'all doing?
What's happening? So I think that's a good thing for us to understand, that the virus has not stopped. And many people, particularly capitalists, are going to invite you and give you invitations to consider coming out of your staying in place when things are rising. So you might want to double take, because they're trying to take your money, and some might even take your life. So, you know, be careful. Be careful. Be careful, be careful, be careful.
I will say I am intrigued, Cass and King James Munson, who's going to be the first. I'm intrigued on who's going to be the first artist to actually take that risk and step on a stage or a platform and do that. What's going on, Lewis?
Hey, what's happening, man?
Good morning.
How you doing?
Good morning.
Good, man. Welcome to Rolling
Morning.
Out.
Thank you, sir. Happy to be here.
Yeah, come on. Well, why don't you introduce yourself, Lewis? You're a family member, obviously a Rolling Out family member, but you're one of the most genius creatives in the space over at Burrell. But you guys have really done something special. So if you'd introduce yourself and then just talk about this phenomenal project.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Lewis Williams. I'm the Chief Creative Officer of Burrell Communications in Chicago. And for those who don't know what that is, we're a Black advertising agency with a lot of big time national clients. And, one of the things, just listening, there's really a lot going on in the community. And as communications experts, when we see the community hurting, we have to speak out. And we use our creative ability to do that. And, before what happened to Mr. Floyd and everybody else before him, the Rona was on our butts like crazy. And I want everybody to know, Rona has not gone away. She is still swirling like she's never swirled before. So to get the word out, we ran across Mr. Jason Hargrove, which is a city bus driver out of Detroit. And he posted a passionate video about asking people to cover their mouths and just be considerate of others. And the great story about Jason, and I have to thank his widow, the great story about Jason is that he posted a video on Facebook, and 11 days later, he was gone. He was gone. And we just couldn't let that story, we couldn't let that plea of his go away. So we did a great PSA spot on his behalf, asking people, from his own words, to cover up, care about the community. And it's been doing extremely well. So a little plug, everybody can go to blackishuman.com and post a video of anybody who's lost to this terrible COVID-19 in their memories. Because so many people weren't able to go to funerals and say goodbye. And we just wanted to have like a wall of remembrance for anybody who's like lost some loved one. And that's it.
I think we're going to play this video now.
Okay, good. Okay.
This coronavirus is for real. And we out here as public workers doing our job, trying to make an honest living, to take care of our families. I'm just letting you know, this is real, and y'all need to take this serious. Y'all be safe. If you ain't got to go out, don't go out. If you go out, cover up your face, put some gloves on your hands. I'm out of here, y'all. I love y'all. Peace.
Whoa.
Thank you.
Great job. Great job. I mean, I for those who don't know, and I think, Lewis, I'm glad you're coming on. The image of our community is what I want to say Burrell has captivated and kept dignity in the creativity that comes out of your shop. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so this wasn't a surprise for me, because I know y'all are always there. But how did you come up with the idea once you saw it? And what was the process? Because I want people to know that there is a creative lens and that you guys do it, and that there's a whole team, because there are opportunities, because we need more Black agencies, and we need, we talked about the Apple Watch. It'd be great for Apple to hire Burrell today. It would be great to really get a finance company, if you're really pro, that, a finance company, do some work for Chase, Jamie Dimon, that Burrell could do that. But in this case, you preserved our history and gave us some sense of safety. What was the creative brief, and how did you guys come about this whole process?
You know, at the heart of all creators, we're artists, right? So you use your skill. If I was a painter, I would have done a painting. You know, if I was a singer, I would have wrote a song. You know what I mean? But we're creatives, and we deal with TV spots and radio spots and you know, social things like that. So for me, you know, we were just sitting around, and you know, you look at, you read an article, you see a post, and you just get activated. You say, what can I do? What can I do? Not what anybody else can do. What can I do? What skill has God blessed me with that I can make a difference? And motivated us. You know what I mean? It's just that simple. There was no brief. I mean, you don't need a brief. The brief was our community was hurting. I don't need a brief for that. I live that every day, right? So that's the brief. The brief is, how can I help my community? How can we help our community do something in a time of desperate need?
And it came out, and his wife was happy with the spot. It preserved his memory.
Yeah, his memory. And you got to think about it, you know, because we saw the video, I was moved. I think it had like 800,000 hits on Facebook. But, you know, again, that's not like mass media. You know what I mean? Thanks, you know, most of you and your organization helping us get the word out. I really appreciate everything you do. But, you know, we had to call her up. You know, she lost her husband. And, you know, the concern is like, will she call us back? I mean, you know, strange people calling saying, hey, can we do a commercial with your husband you just lost? And, you know, she was a very brave woman, you know what I mean? And she says, please, please, I do not want my husband, you know, to die in vain. Whatever you can do to keep his message alive, please do. And we applaud her for that. You know, what a strong woman. I think this was even before she had the opportunity to bury him. And so, I mean, I get choked up every time I think about it, because she's a hero as long as with Jason. Those two are heroes. All we did was just fan the flame to keep it going.
Right. I think I want to give you a round of applause, because just watching that video again, it hits different. Because recently, a female friend of mine in New York, her brother passed, and when they and he had corona, and what caught me way off guard was she said, "I'm gonna send you the link for the viewing," and I was like, "The link for the viewing?" She's like, "Yeah, there's gonna be a link. Like, that's how you can view the procession." And I think at that point in time, like, my whole heart dropped, because you're telling a family, just like this man, you're telling a family, hey, you can't see your loved one. We're gonna set up an iPad. It's crazy. So the video hits different for me now, and I've become an advocate for posting with a purpose, which Rolling Out Mustard Steve has created, where every day I make sure that I drop at least knowledge about, you know, how to be safe, things that you can do to be better. Because I don't think, like you said, I don't think people really understand the message until it like slaps them in the face. And it damn sure slapped me in the face. Yeah.
Good looking out, man. Good looking out. Because I tell you, you know, it's hitting us. For everybody to know, it's like we are 2.5 times, because we have issues in the health in our community, right? With hypertension, diabetes, you know, asthma. And so, you know, by being a respiratory disease, we get taken out 2.5 times more than everybody else. You know what I mean? So, and then you go to, you know, I think Jason went to the hospital 3 times, his wife said, and they turned him away. You know what I mean? Go back home, go back home, go back home. You know what I mean? And this just breaks your heart, man.
Not only that, 70% of Black and brown people can't work from home.
Right.
So he was on the front line. It wasn't it. He was doing a service to the mother who couldn't drive, to the old lady who couldn't make it, to those who are economically already oppressed, to those who didn't have a chance. And obviously, there was someone who got on that bus who was not masked up. And exposed Jason. And here he is sharing love in his absence through you guys, which I think is a creative. I think we miss that point when we're complaining about staying at home, and then we go out and contract the virus. Act like we're impatient. I think we've got to keep it alive. That's why I wanted to have you on. I think the for me, it's always that mental brief. I don't, Lewis always says that he didn't have one, but I think it's the DNA of Burrell to give compassion, and that's part of the brief, the truth, the cultural insight to know that, we're preserving images and keeping it dignified and creative. It's still fly. So it's still fly. I think you did that. Who did the music? Because that music was on point. It was tearjerking.
It was on point, and it was stock music. It was stock music because in social you move fast, and the stock library is pretty cool. You know what I mean? So we grabbed it off the shelf and just kept going.
Yeah, well, I just want people to know there's a creative process, and
Yes, sir.
that you can participate and create and grab stock music, and we can create purposeful posts and creative messages. So for those of our community, how can we continue to support your project?
Okay, again, you can go to Burrell Advertising, but also go to Black is Human. And Black is Human, we've done other efforts where we talked about Black boys getting killed. Homicide is the number one reason for Black boys. So a couple of years ago, we did an effort around Black boys. So when you go to Black is Human, you'll see those as well. But if you go to blackishuman.com, and again, we were saying if you want to post a loved one of your family member or loved one, just want to keep it alive, because these are just not numbers and statistics. These are people. These are mothers, fathers, uncles, cousins. So whatever we can do, one by one, spread. And like Jason did, he told you what to do. Put a mask on, put some gloves on, and take care of yourself. Because even when I was out protesting, sometimes I would see we had to be out there. We had to do what we had to do. But put a mask on. Put a mask on. That's important. So just do what you need to do, and not your family member who's saying, hey, blow it off. No, don't blow it off. Because you may not get sick, but your aunt will, or the next door neighbor will. You know what I mean? Just ask each one of us to do what we have to do. What we can.
Well, one, thank you for coming on, rolling out the wake up call, rolling out AM. For sure, we appreciate. Much love to you and Burrell and the Burrell family. So stay safe, and we're gonna get you back so you can share some more insight on this industry that we want to participate in. The uprising.
Hey man, post with a purpose.
Well, so thank you for. Go ahead.
No, I was saying post with a purpose. We with you.
Okay.
All
right, guys.
Thanks so much, Lewis.
Okay.
Talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys. And thanks. I appreciate it. Okay. Take care. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Peace. Rolling out. What's happening, Romeo International?
Checking in from Facebook, man. Barbara Field says, as a nurse, we need to continue safe distance mask because this isn't over. Please take care of yourself. Please take care of your family. And Kim Peru Moore is checking in from LV, and 229, and Winston Chung. Lewis truly is a genius in and out of advertising. So shout out to everybody, especially everybody who's checking in with the love, man. We want y'all to use the hashtag post with a purpose. This is what I'm gonna do today. Everybody that goes on social media and hashtag rolling out post with a purpose, I am going to reshare your post as long as it's positive, informative, and of good energy. I got you. Got you. Make sure you get you. That is so important right now. Make sure you get you. King James, how'd you like that? Jason's video. I've got to share that video today. We need to share that again, Romeo. Just say.
Yeah, we do, because I was working behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, shout out to Burrell, who's always there for our community, creating great creativity. Woo!
Hey, Cass, what you think? You think the message is still out there? Or you think people just gave up? Because we already see they done gave up on the club. They just said, forget it, we there.
I think it goes back to kind of what yesterday our guest was speaking about, we're all grieving. People are grieving normality. Summertime, people are used to being around family, being around friends. So I think it's just a grief, and people are, trying to have a sense of normalcy, or, just a lot of people, like you said, have anxiety and are depressed right now. So, it might, being around people might lift their spirits, whatever. But
No, it's hard. It's hard.
Yeah.
The brain does not respond well to radical change. It has to be incremental. And when it happens all at once, the brain rebels, the body rebels. It's like a shock to the system. And it's a shock to my system. It is hard driving by every day, seeing one of my favorite sports bars just lit up every day, full of people. It's hard walking by, Outback Steakhouse, knowing that the relationship that meat and beef have, and I can't go in to get me one of those sirloin steaks or one of those big thick ones from Munson I used to get when we were on the road. What was the filet mignons? You know what I'm saying? It's hard. It's hard. I am craving for garlic pepper wings. I'm like Chris Rock's Pookie. I need a hit. I need a hit of some. I need some garlic pepper wings. Huh?
You can just pick it up to go. You don't have to.
I don't even want to do that.
You can still eat.
No.
Hey, you got to get your chef hat on, brother. You got to get a chef hat. I'm with you. I'm not picking up any food. So I'm not in that lane. Good luck to those people. I'm all for you. If you want to risk, you got to mitigate the risk. I'm with Terry. I'm not.
But King James brought up a good point. I'm gonna throw this to everybody on Rolling Out AM. Everybody has to answer. Does it really feel like summer? Does it feel like summer to you?
Yeah.
It does?
It does.
No, Cass.
So why would it?
It doesn't. King James.
No, it absolutely feels like summer when I step outside and it's 90 degrees. I can cook my feet.
Temperature wise.
Nice.
Yeah.
But does it feel like summer? No.
Man, as I go by the restaurants and there's like the street where there's nothing but restaurants and bars and stores, and those places are packed. And so it absolutely looks like summer to me. It just looks like I'm I just can't participate in it yet. So I feel like that I'm barred and banished from it because of the situation. But yeah, so it's hard. It's not easy to stay away. Now that's funny that Portia keeps bringing that up, even though she said it looked like it stank in there, and maybe it's because of that cloud that's in there that makes it look like just fumes are coming out. But
it looks like summer, right? It looks like summer, but it don't feel like summer. It don't do that.
I think there's a whole reset, and I think that what we assume summer should feel like and what love should feel like is being redefined. Like for everybody who doesn't understand, there's a sacrifice that you can make in many seasons. We're learning the budget. We're learning to understand that just because it's summer don't mean you have to turn up. We're learning that you can have peaceful walks. We're learning that you can work out. You ain't got to have somebody. I think the verification of what, our materialism. Do we have to be materialistic during this moment? Do we have to turn up and be around a lot of people that aren't really protecting themselves? I think there are things about summer that are very tragic for our community. And we got to take a new look at that. I mean, we've got to really say, are we really paying attention to loving ourselves, loving our community? So it's a reset.
It's definitely time to take personal inventory of the things that we have been doing, the things that haven't been working. That's why this is a great opportunity for, introspection and just to see what has been working in your life, what has not, and to try to pivot and go in another direction with some things. So, but anyway, today is Tuesday, so that means it is Tech Tuesday, which means that we have a technological connoisseur in the building, and her name is Dawn Dixon, and she is the owner of pop.com. So we need to bring her on. Dawn, what's up?
Hi, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Good. And I love talking to you guys And I hate talking to you guys because you guys are so smart. And you guys are so smart, and say I can't count to 3 with 2 hands. So, so it's a pleasure to interview you and to find out a little bit more about the tech space and how African Americans can, basically take advantage of it and leverage our love of social media into something that's profitable instead of just playing on it. So we got to stop playing today. We got to start making some money. We got to start stacking chips. Are you with me, Don?
I am certainly with you. I've been in tech
Okay.
for 20 years, so.
Okay, good. So why don't you take this opportunity to go ahead and introduce yourself and talk about the many businesses that you got, because it sounds like you're from Jamaica. You got so many jobs and business. But go ahead.
Yeah, but I guess it can sound that way. My name's Dawn Dixon. I consider myself to be a serial entrepreneur. I went to school for tech in 2001, and I've been starting tech businesses since I graduated. My first business was a platform for entertainment in nightclubs and bars and restaurants in my hometown of Columbus, Ohio. And
you a Buckeye?
I am. I am a Buckeye.
Oh, in the building. Okay. I'm from Akron, baby. I'm from Akron.
Okay.
That's right. The small world. But I should have known, since you making boss moves, I should have known that you were from a Buckeye state.
Does it best. You know that.
Yeah. But please continue.
Yeah. Okay. And so that business, and then I started a consulting company after that, and that's when I moved to Atlanta, and I worked in Atlanta with a lot of the entertainers and athletes and promoters there for 6 years. So that's how Atlanta's kind of where I feel like I really came into myself as a entrepreneur in Atlanta, and the network that I built in Atlanta, which carried me all over the world. Really, Atlanta's a phenomenal place to start your career. And then I moved to Miami and started a company called Flat Out of Heels, and there's rollable ballet flats for women when their feet hurt from walking in high heels. And my idea was to put these flats in vending machines in a nightclub, so that when women, their feet hurt in the club or in the airport or wherever, concerts, they can just buy a pair of flats in a vending machine and get that relief. They don't have to walk barefoot. They don't have to, be limping out. I know you've all seen women just clearly their feet hurt.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, and so those, I did that. I started out putting them in vending machines in Club Live in Miami and MGM Casino in Las Vegas, a few other places. And that's when I realized that the vending machine industry was just very antiquated, very old, very low tech. And I wasn't able to grow my business as selling products that are not like soda and snacks in a vending machine. I needed more technology. And so then I leaned back to my technology expertise to work to build a software operating system to then upgrade vending machines and make them smarter. And that's what I do with my company, Popcom. So Popcom was born out of me wanting to sell my shoes in vending machines, but be able to collect more information from my customer, like email address or social sharing, or understand consumer traffic, understand how many people walking by. So that led me to building the technology that I've developed today and that I'm bringing to market today.
I see. Wow. Okay, this is fascinating. So I don't even know where to start, but let me start with the shoe business, because Cass was talking about her, her dogs be barking sometimes when, she likes to hang out in the clubs in space.
Have before.
So I wanted to know, exactly how that is going now that you've gotten into the tech space. Has that kind of like bled back into your fashion business in terms of the shoes?
Yeah, I mean, the shoe business, we moved the company to just B2B, meaning we just sell to businesses in wholesale.
Okay.
So last year, the most recent big deal I did was with DSW, and they started to distribute flat outs as what's called a GWP, so a gift with purchase program. So basically, they gave out, I think like 10,000 pairs of flat outs to their DSW customers when they made a purchase. So they bought them from me and they gave them out. We also have received a lot of orders from sororities and organizations like AKA, Delta, Zeta, Jack and Jill, several programs that just will order them for their organization banquets, conferences, events, Also, Black Enterprise ordered them for the Women of Power Summit through ADP. So we get a lot of more so now swag and event purchases. But we're definitely, now that Popcom vending machines are completed and ready to go to market, Flat Out of Heels will then be brought back to vending machines again. Now that we finally have a machine that I always wanted, which I had to go and take 3 years to build myself because I couldn't find it anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Now I can bring my passion back, which was getting those flats out to women and getting them in arenas and, you know, venues and nightclubs and casinos and airports all over the country. But we have a program where we allow women or men entrepreneurs to purchase the vending machines and operate them as their own independent business. So I'm giving people opportunity to have their own Flat Out of Heels machine and as an additional stream of income.
Okay. This is our publisher. I'm sorry, I should have introduced him first before we started, but it's our publisher, Munson and Steed, and Cass in the City is my colleague. Mr. Steed, you had a question for Ms. Dixon?
Well, Don, it's been a long time coming. I've waited. I've heard about you. Everybody in Atlanta knows you. Obviously, Randy Fling has a true affinity and appreciation for you. We are very proud. So I want to say shout out to you. You make us proud to, you know, showcase what entrepreneurship is in the tech space. Want to ask you a question about crowdfunding. How important is crowdfunding and why should more African-American companies do it?
So I'm so glad you asked me about that because it's one of my big passions is to help empower our entrepreneurs in the community to be able to leverage our network, our communities to raise capital and not have to rely on or lean on institutions, banks, and frankly, white people to give us money and fund our businesses and often be rejected over and over again. So a little backstory on my fundraising journey. I did raise $1 million from venture capital investors and angel investors in 2017 and 18. And I found that experience to be, obviously I raised that money and I was one of the first 25 Black women in the country to raise $1 million from in that way. So it was a big deal, but I said, why it's only 25, 30, now maybe 50 of us been able to accomplish this when there's literally billions of dollars circulating in our communities every year, trillions of dollars, you know, so why aren't we really tapping in? And the reason is because many of us, although highly sophisticated, educated, and knowledgeable and have disposable income, we're not accredited. And what accredited means is that you have $1 million net worth, you're netting $200,000 a year in income or $300,000 as a couple. And, you know, just because you don't make $200,000 a year does not mean that you don't have money to invest or knowledge or know how to invest in things. And so that is why President Obama, under his administration, 2012, passed this law called Jumpstart Our Business Startups, the Jobs Act. And what it does is allow entrepreneurs to raise money from accredited, so that means the more wealthy, and non-accredited means everyone else. And that really opened up opportunities for us to be able to leverage our community to raise equity to get money for shares. So in the past, it was like, go to Kickstarter to sell a product and pre-sell it. Go to Indiegogo to raise money for your film. Go to GoFundMe to do everything else. But now you really can raise money in the form of equity for your company. And, you know, that's what I was able to do. I was the first female founder in the world to raise over $1 million in a crowdfunding campaign in 2019. And then I did it again this year. So this year, last month, I raised another $1 million. So I've raised $2.3 million.
Great job.
Thank you. I've raised $2.3 million from primarily Black people. I would say of my 4,000 investors, about 90% of them are Black. So that, you know, that really dispels the myth that Black people don't support other Black people,
Right.
that Black people don't invest, that Black people are not knowledgeable. That really just, I feel like, shattered that stereotype. And I feel like it really opened the door for a lot of other entrepreneurs and people who may have felt left out and maybe intimidated by investing in an early stage tech company. Now they have the opportunity to invest in something that is definitely growing.
That is fire right there. I do have another question, but I wanted to make sure that Cass in the City posed her question.
Well, I just wanted, you know, as a Black woman who's kind of conquered the tech space, what is like 3 tips, pieces of advice you have for, Black women who are looking to enter tech but are a little afraid, or don't necessarily know how to get involved?
So people have this idea that being in tech means that you are coding or sitting behind a computer all day, but technology is an industry. And like every industry, it needs everything. Technology needs marketing, it needs human resources, it needs public relations, it needs graphic design, it needs everything. So all you have to do to get into tech is apply your skill set to tech. Every tech company, including mine, we have marketers on our team. Like I said, human resources, PR, copywriters, lawyers. So anything that you do can be applied to tech. And as you get into that business, you learn more and more about more high-tech things. But you don't have to go to school for tech to be in tech. Literally just transfer your skill set to a company and then you can get started. So that's one tip, and then the second is just really research what you're passionate about. There is a lot of tech businesses do pay more. So it's a great way to, jumpstart your career and generate more income. So figure out what you're really passionate about and start digging deep and learning about these companies. And then become a subject matter expert in what you do. So I position myself to be an expert by speaking on panels, at events, writing thought leadership pieces, participating in, surveys and studies in the industry, and really being very vocal about what I do and why I do it, so that when people go out and looking for me on Google, say, it's a lot of information there. So use LinkedIn, use Medium or whatever blog site that you choose to really be a voice for your industry and for yourself, and really put yourself out there as a thought leader. And it'll be a lot easier to make that transition.
Okay, this has been tremendously educational, and edifying to us, Ms. Dixon. Don, I wanted to ask you, but we have to shut it down because we're in 15-minute increments. And I wanted to ask you about your plant-based restaurant in Columbus, Ohio, because of the fact that that's where we part ways. See, I'm going to go continue on to Akron because me and Beef go way back. So we're going to have to, you know what I'm saying? But congratulations on that, as well as the many other businesses and ventures that you have. We're going to have to talk to you in another space, maybe on another one of our shows, so that we can elaborate on each of these particular businesses and points, especially about the heels, because I'd like to get into that. You know what I'm saying? As many times as I've seen women struggle with their corns, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, let the folks know where they can get in contact with you, or just be able to reach you, find out more about your businesses. Just give them the rundown right quick.
Yeah, for sure. You can find me on Facebook at Dawn Dixon, Dickson. LinkedIn, I'm very active, Dawn Dixon. Instagram, Dawn W. Dixon, and Twitter, Dawn Dixon. So you definitely can find me. And I want to just leave with that the average millionaire has 7 streams of income. So do not be afraid to diversify. You're not doing too much. It is important to focus on things one at a time, but certainly diversify your investment so that you can make sure that no matter what happens in the economy, you're able to sustain yourself.
Okay.
Well, Don, I want to make sure that we bring you on to Lunch and Learn. So Portia will reach out for you. I think it's what I love about what you're doing is you are truly a lighthouse for our community with crowdfunding, being an entrepreneur, not being fearless, because that's what it takes at this moment to join and get in industries and learn it when it hasn't been passed down to you. And I think we have the capacity, and you showcase our capacity. You've expanded my capacity to do today. So really looking forward to you doing a Lunch and Learn so young brothers and sisters can really understand how to approach crowdfunding. And we definitely want to increase us putting our $1 trillion inside our community. So thank you so much. We love you.
I love you all for what you do, and please invite me back. I'm always happy to share any information that I have with our people.
Well, Portia's going to hit you for a Lunch and Learn.
Okay.
We really have a young sister that did fundraising on crowdfunding for her sauce, but it's really for us to allow our community to lunch and learn versus lunch and get fat. We want their brains to swell up from rolling out information and them to have access to entrepreneurs like you who they may or may not know. So we really love you. And that's for real at Rolling Out. And Cass in the City, great question. And of course, Terry has something to say because he is a true Buckeye. There is no bigger Buckeye celebrator than Terry Shropshire.
Yeah, I am the first King James. Okay, so that's why.
Okay, that's why it says the first in caps. Okay,
right, the first King James. You know what I'm saying? I came before LeBron. I just took my talents to Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Because Miami wasn't big enough to handle somewhat of my capacity. But okay, they're telling me I don't have time to talk to you about the restaurant. But you will be able to discuss that in the future with Munson and Steve and in other platforms that we have. So thank you so much for being here. It has been a pleasure, and congratulations and God bless with you and all your business
Have an amazing
and your
day,
family.
everyone.
Thank you.
Well.
Thanks. Peace, Don.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
That was great, Terry. Very insightful.
Yeah, that was. And Portia's just a hater because, I mean, we have a few seconds. We could have talked some more, but she's just, oh my goodness, Portia. I need to talk to her. I need to get some things straight.
She definitely dropped some gems, I think.
What was the biggest what was your biggest takeaway, Cass?
I think, the thing Munson, said about crowdfunding, she's really done an amazing job. And I think, the flat outs, I've heard of that, over the years. So, she's really just like conquering the industry. So I definitely think like her advice is, very important because she's definitely doing it.
Yeah, we definitely
millions of dollars.
Yeah, we definitely needed
a big deal.
Yeah, we needed to have an hour for her because I wanted to also talk to her about how do we get our people who obviously have a flair for social media and to basically leverage that skill, that zeal. We are inordinate users on social media. How do we translate that into coins? How do we turn she has become an expert at translating her hobbies, her loves into money. So we need to have her talk to our people about that. You know what I'm saying? So
definitely.
Yeah. Mr. Steve, did you have a takeaway from Mrs. Dixon?
Yes, of course. I loved her fearlessness and her commitment to the community. I love the fact that she was real about the fact of how big and strong and intelligent our community is, and that we can work together, dispelling the myth that we can't achieve, invest in each other, move forward, trust the entrepreneur, and understand that we can bring genius things to market. That vending thing can have our own distribution. Then she was thoughtful. Here's how entrepreneurs participate in this whole new technological approach to vending. So I love the whole quintessential idea of what she's doing as a person. There's a spiritual value there to what she's bringing and what she's broadcasting.
Absolutely. So that luncheon that you're talking about having with her, we're looking forward to that. And so I'm gonna have to watch that because, I need repetition when it comes to anything math.
Well, let's do your report because that will allow you to get down and let everybody know what's happening.
Okay. As we basically watch the news of Trump going to Arizona, as CNN has just pointed out, even though they have exploded with coronavirus cases. Another thing that is going on is the cancel culture. Oh my God, they're on the prowl. And there are calls to cancel Jimmy Kimmel, which is trending #1 on Twitter nationwide because of the fact that Jimmy Kimmel did blackface with NBA legend, mocking NBA legend Karl Malone and Oprah Winfrey, and also did an album, a Christmas album of Snoop Dogg, where he used the N-word probably more than Snoop Dogg. Now, here's the problem, though. Another Jimmy, the Jameses are making me look bad today. I'm the first King James, and these Jameses are making me look bad because Jimmy Fallon, just a few weeks ago, got into trouble for blackface of Chris Rock. Here's the difference. Chris Rock, I'm sorry, I'm getting excited. Jimmy Fallon apologized immediately and took credit and took responsibility for it. And the scandal is done. It's dissipated like the morning mist. Nobody's even asking about it. Nobody's talking about it. It's forgotten. Jimmy Kimmel that's Jimmy Fallon. Jimmy Fallon, that was Jimmy Fallon. Jimmy Kimmel, on the other hand, refuses to apologize and instead said he's going on vacation because he's tired and he's doing this for 18 years without a break. No, that's not the way you handle a scandal. You got to head it front on. And so, yeah, there are calls for him to get canceled in all of these situations. He's in trouble for. But we'll talk a little bit more about this, get your opinion of it after I finish my report. Let us continue to move on, courtesy of Portia Monique, who is Portia Mitchell right now because she's not going back to my report. All right, she's Portia Monique again. All right, Black correction officers are very upset because of the fact, and they have sued the county prison for which Derek Chauvin, the ex-officer who killed George Floyd by kneeling on his neck, they've sued the county and the prison because they believe that they have been systematically kept out of watching over him. And so it's almost as if they're saying that the white supervisors or the people who are in charge of the schedule are scared that that the Black corrections officers might do something to harm Derek Chauvin. So this is clearly a case that they believe that is racist, and so they have gone ahead and sued them. So, well, I was thinking about getting on a plane, but boy, this gives you pause, doesn't it? The cast. Delta has confirmed about 500 employees have tested positive for COVID-19 and at least 10 have passed away. So I was just thinking about, in August, going back to Vegas for my one year anniversary of the birthday party that we had with a bunch of my friends from around the country. We all convened in Vegas at the time of our lives. I don't know about that right now. So you just have to see how things play out. But that's this is a sticky situation, and it's going to continue to eat into their profits. Next on the list, Kate Michelle is so messy. She is so petty. Okay, so Kate Michelle suggested that she and Tamar Braxton do a versus battle. The battles that have been exploding on the internet, courtesy of Swiss Beats and Timbaland, who started it. Well, Tamar Braxton turned down that offer from Kate Michelle, so Kate Michelle went straight to the gutter. She dived into the sewage system at first. She said that Tamar Braxton had an affair with Jermaine Dupri's daddy. So Michael Malden, that's the guy on the right. And then a few days later, DeBrat went ahead and confirmed that Tamar Braxton had a fight and got beat down by Michael Malden's ex-wife or whatever, or Jermaine Dupri's stepmother. And so, that's Pettyville right there. So does anyone have anything to say about these situations that have exploded here on the news today? Cash?
Yeah, Cash, you go first.
Yeah, like you said, Terry, the Delta story definitely makes you second guess getting on a flight for sure. A lot of people want to, kind of travel and have some kind of summer vacation or whatnot, but it definitely makes you pause. I agree. It's a scary time.
Yeah, I would like to read more about this and more stories about this to find out exactly when the Delta thing went down, when everybody tested positive.
Yeah, and how long
how long ago was
what
that?
Period of time.
Yeah, what period of time? So I'll work to find that out more. Romeo, you have anything?
Jimmy, first of all, they're wrong for trying to cancel Jimmy Kimmel. They're wrong. They're absolutely wrong because that was a skit done a long time ago, number one. Number two,
1996.
You laughed at the skit. I'm just speaking in general. You laughed at the skit, right? And he's done plenty more because I even laughed at the one that he did in reference to, I think it was Empire. I think him and Taraji P. Henson did one together where he played Lucius, and it was funny. So
was he in blackface?
Yes, as Lucius, yes. And I do not think it's fair to pull something from that way back when to say, oh, we're gonna cancel you now because we're in our feelings. No, that's not fair.
Okay, is it hypocritical to cancel Jimmy Kimmel, but then for the Wayans brothers to make a whole movie in whiteface with white girls? Is that the exemplification of hypocrisy?
I would agree with that. And that was a hit. And that was a hit. That's the funny. And that was a hit. So I definitely agree with you. But the culture, this is my only problem with the culture.
The cancel culture, or just the culture?
The council culture. The council culture. The council culture is being picky petty against Black people. If majority is just Black people only. I don't like what she says. She got to go. They're not canceling these major corporations because they still going to shop at Gucci. They're not canceling these major businesses or platforms that you bring up every single week that have a disparity of how many people of color are hired or not hired. They're not doing that, but they quick to say, oh, so-and-so who's an influencer, we don't want him no more. That ain't fair. Like, is the whole council culture so uneven right now? It's anybody's up for it. I could be up for it tomorrow.
And
I
saw something.
I'm sorry, I didn't know if it was Steve. Cass, please go ahead.
I saw something on Twitter that was an interesting point, about how Kevin Hart had such a hard time, when they pulled up those he made tweets, I think, about, being homosexual.
Homophobic tweets. Yeah.
Yeah, a long time ago. And it cost him major hosting gig. So they kind of put those side by side. He got canceled on the Oscars. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they kind of put the two side by side. So I saw a lot of the cancel of Jimmy Kimmel. I haven't seen the actual footage of what he did. I'm gonna go check that out afterwards. But
yeah, that's my fault. I should have. They said there's no such thing as whiteface. Rodney Perry, comedian Rodney Perry, who was a famous comedian, he said there is no such thing as whiteface. So we should have. I wish we had him on so that he could say why there is no whiteface and why it's okay for, say, the Wayans brothers to do white girls.
You can send him a link to come on the show right now. This is technology. We don't have to wait to invite Rodney Perry. We can invite him right now. We can send Rodney Perry a link. That was artificial intelligence. That wasn't me talking. That was one of my programs. It came from a program. Rodney Perry is invited right now. Rodney Perry is invited right now. Rodney Perry is invited right now.
As a matter of fact, Rodney Perry just sent a whole bunch of likes. Rodney Perry, we about to connect you right now. I see you. I see you on Facebook. We about to connect you right now.
Rodney Perry is invited right now.
Yeah, because
don't be afraid, Perry. Don't be afraid.
No, but I'm just saying, the sensibilities of the country has changed because, back in the day in the 80s, and it was funny. I ain't gonna lie, I laughed at it. It is Eddie Murphy's Raw is still the most successful commercially concert movie of all time, 30 years later. But you can't say half the stuff that he did today.
Rodney just said send the link.
Huh?
My fault. Rodney just said send the link. He just said send the link.
Okay. Well, Ash is sending him a DM. Hopefully, let me go ahead and get his number. Wait, I got his number.
But while King James is doing that, but Munson and Cassidy, like, my really big problem is the fact that people aren't like, the world is so loud. Like, whatever you say is wrong, and then if it's wrong to one person and it goes viral, then it's wrong to a million people within that instance. And nobody has got the opportunity to get their point out there. Nobody has got the opportunity to speak their piece. We move forward. Rolling Out moves forward with the hashtag post with a purpose. Well, who's to say that Cassie's purpose is different from Romeo's purpose, who's different from Munson Steve's purpose? If it's all positive, you can't get mad at the purpose. So that's the only thing that has me so uneven with council culture, Black culture right now at the moment. It's like attack everybody and hopefully somebody comes out of the fire at the end. That's not fair.
Well, what I saw on Twitter specifically related to Jimmy Kimmel was that it wasn't just about this. They said we should have canceled Jimmy Kimmel when he did this. I thought y'all been canceled Jimmy Kimmel when he did this. So I saw a lot of people saying reasons why they weren't fond of Jimmy Kimmel in the past, like past interviews he's done that people, you know, weren't in support of. So it wasn't just about this. It was just kind of like, we're fed up kind of thing. And I think what Terry said is important. You know, you make a mistake or you have something that comes out later in your life, you know, you should just go ahead, say you're sorry, you know, right then and there. You have a team, you have PR, you know, put out your apology and move on. You know, you don't, you know, go into hiding.
Well, I think the thing, Romeo, that is happening is called education. Like all of a sudden there's this new education on what is offensive. Many people prior to this uprising tolerated racist comments, tolerated it because they didn't want to smash the face of a person who would say, go pick cotton. We tolerated statues in the Confederacy that were kept by our public dollars, shined up by our public dollars that we paid to be assaulted by the presence of flags and soldiers who raped, killed, punished our community. So yes, it happened years ago, but your inappropriate behavior has been checked now and nobody's safe. When they say nobody's safe, they mean nobody. This is a new movement. You didn't think about it in the past, but you really raped my grandmother and she was not happy about it. But she needed a job, so she went back to work. She didn't appreciate what you said about her husband. And it gave her high blood pressure. She didn't appreciate it. No, yeah, you got a black band, but why do we have to cancel Arsenio Hall? He probably had the numbers. But we got to have all three of the shows have to be there. Why haven't they invited some black media on, Jimmy? We've had great coverage. We've created great culture. We love the band, but you don't have to make fun of our culture. You're really not that cool. That's what people might be saying. It's a question mark, but we definitely are reviewing the offenses.
And I agree with you on that. I really do. But if somebody challenges 2010 Romeo to 2020 Romeo, I'm supposed to take that heat because of the fact that 2010 Romeo wasn't as knowledgeable.
I think for Jimmy Kimmel, he got paid to assault people. He got paid for something. You all of us have made mistakes as men, as people. We apologize. We were inappropriate. This guy paid millions to do things that were not as sensitive and thoughtful. So people are going back and saying, this was not cool. And your boss paid you. And you could have shown more love. And it's not just, oh, we need education. Well, why don't we actually, for those insulting ideas that you think are wrong, why don't you go ahead and sponsor 10 scholarships at Howard? Why don't you go ahead and encourage us? And there's no such thing, Terry, as whiteface.
Yeah,
Terry.
Man.
Oh, yes, there is.
It happen.
Yes, there is. White girls was whiteface. That's what it was. That's what it was to me.
Ain't no such thing. Blackface is the issue because it's people mimicking us. It's a long history of blackface. There is no such thing as whiteface.
And it's insulting. They're mimicking us to make us look like coons and making us jokes of us, making jokes of our culture, keeping us in place, telling the white guy, this is how you treat them. Yes, sir, master. That's what it is. All right. Shucking and jiving. When we ain't feeling like shucking and jiving, we never wanted to clean your kitchen. We never wanted to be your help. We didn't have a choice but to be your help. You made us be your help. No, this ain't a face. I never wanted to see the movie The Help, Terry. They should cancel that movie. That ain't what my grandmother used to come from helping these people. She used to put her hand up.
You started this, Rodney.
And say, give me a minute. She used to get in the car and say, give me a minute, Terry. She didn't enjoy being the help. That wasn't fun.
You said out of your mouth, Rodney Perry, that comedy was the only pure voice out right now. You said this.
I did say that.
Okay, so are they wrong for attacking Jimmy Kimmel like that?
Here's the answer to that, Romeo. we absolutely have freedom of speech, comedians and everybody else in this country. I mean, that's part of our amendment, our First Amendment right. But you don't have freedom of retribution. You don't have freedom to say what you want to say without repercussions. And I think Cass said something really interesting in terms of they were ready to cancel Kevin. You know what I'm saying? And so
they canceled it, bro.
that's very valid.
They canceled it. He didn't get the check. They canceled
They
it.
did cancel him.
And it's not just Jimmy Kimmel. It's the other late night hosts that have done it as well. And let's not forget people like what's the guy from the other we kind of like him too. Marky Mark. What's his name? What's his real name?
Oh.
Mark Wahlberg.
You're talking about that.
Mark Wahlberg.
You're talking about that racist Mark Wahlberg. He's a racist. He's racist. He's always been a racist.
No.
I mean, I don't know him to say that about him, but I don't put that past anybody from Boston. You know, it's just that part of the country breeds that type of energy. You know, people from Southie in Boston, but more than anything, man, I mean. I just wanted to come and chime in and you know, it's been a great show today. Everything from Munson rapping. Yo, dude, amazing to the information from Cass. Romeo is always on point. King James, man, it's always a pleasure. You know, I have to get my dictionary out every day for a word you hit me with.
No, that's right. Me too.
I got a new segment, the King James word of the day.
That's
the third time. That's the third time somebody done said that to me. But
I told him we need a definition every day.
We've been waiting on it, Rodney. We've been waiting.
Well, maybe I might have to start that. But I wanted to, before. I mean, while we got you here, I just wanted to find out, like, okay, so they canceled Kevin, and then Eddie Murphy came back and said he's repulsed by the things that he said in the Raw video, which is still today the most successful commercial concert film of all time, 35 years later, is still number one. But he's saying that he gets chilled from watching what he used to say. So, I mean, I just don't know what to make of this right now.
I mean, you know, as grown men, we get the benefit of hindsight. Does he wish he may have done some things different? Maybe, but guess what? We might not know him if he does. So I don't know if that's fair. I wish he hadn't apologized personally, because
Eddie Murphy?
Absolutely, he affected the era. He ushered in the Def Jam comedy era, and which led to Comic View, I mean, it's history. We kind of don't get to change that stuff. And so I think it's interesting. This whole cancel culture that Romeo was talking about. I mean, my kids are a part of it. I got a 17, 19-year-old. They're like, oh, we canceling him. I'm like, whoa.
Right. They cancel them left and right.
They don't care.
Is it fair?
Right.
And that's my point, Rodney. Is the cancel culture fair, or are they picking and choosing, and then everybody's jumping on the bandwagon?
Hey, life ain't fair. Life is fair. If you get built by the internet can take you down. Period. I mean, we saw happen with the internet sensation Desi Banks. Right?
And B. Simone.
Desi Banks and B. Simone. So Desi Banks, I don't know if you're familiar with Munson, but Desi said something to the effect that you guys need to stop all that riding and whatnot. Man, his followers was like, yo, boy, if you don't shut up. And he lost 500,000 followers in a day.
Yep.
Just like that. And so this kid is 24 years old, you know, and so a lot of us comics reached out to him and like, you know, it's just a storm you got to weather. The beautiful thing about canceling is they'll uncancel you just like that, as fast.
Well, yeah, look at Tekashi, your boy Tekashi. I mean, you said that was one of your favorite rappers. Look at him. He got a number one song.
Who said that?
Never.
Say that.
Don't do that.
This is my favorite time of the day. This is when the sun hit Cass just perfectly.
Cascade. That we talk about that all the time, man. All the time. Sit there. Don't move. See, he's trying to move.
Here's a great question. Do beautiful people have an easier life?
Oh, Cassidy,
Cass?
Yep.
Can't nobody on here else answer. Maybe Munson back in the day.
I don't know about that.
Well, I don't know, because some people end up going crazy. You know, they go crazy because of the fact that they get treated like a trophy piece. And you know, I've seen plenty of pretty women who end up being crazy as hell.
But Sharpshire, you a handsome guy. I mean, ain't it hard being you?
No, it's hard being me because of my entire aura of what I represent. You know what I'm saying? For being from the Buckeye State and the totality of my existence.
Everything. The whole big picture.
Right, the whole big picture. But no, seriously. But we have to ask. That's a good question to ask. We need to get some beautiful people on here and ask them: are their lives easier, or do they think it's harder?
Still not answered the question.
Cass.
Everybody knows.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think my life has been any easier just because I work hard for what I do.
It's a great opportunity to juxtapose privilege, because when you think about privilege, you know, most white people don't know they benefit from privilege. Like they just living their life. Like, you know, Cass might not know how dope it is being pretty. She just living.
Man, all I'll say is we're in cancel culture, like you said, and maybe you are pretty, but maybe you don't know the right things to say, and that don't have no relevance when people out here getting canceled every day. Be pretty all day, say the wrong thing, and then it's over for you. So
yeah, because check this out. Little Kim was pretty, and she disfigured herself.
You better leave that woman alone, dog.
Michael Jackson was considered pretty, and he deformed himself. He
was handsome.
Huh?
He was handsome.
Well, no. The girls thought he was pretty. You know, pretty boys. They say pretty boys.
Talking about Terry now.
But Little Kim, I thought was fine back in the 90s.
How do I hang with everybody get us all canceled?
I know, please. All together. Let's just.
Rodney, what do you think about the Dave Chappelle 8 minutes and 46 seconds?
Man, I found it to be awesome, man. You know, Dave Chappelle, in my opinion, is the best comic alive right now.
Right.
And it's very tough for me to say that with me being a comedian. But this is why, though. Dave Chappelle is the best because he's a smart guy. He's well-read. I once heard him do a joke about how the Aborigines in Australia use baboons to find water. So the question arises, why do you know that? You know what I mean? Right. And so the guy is just a well-read guy. And among my peers, they're saying that maybe it wasn't as funny as they thought it would be. But I thought he really gave us marching orders. And he made his fans, which are largely Caucasian, he made them go, look, y'all might want to chill out because we have some people out there that's willing to go that extra mile. And it was almost a call the order. And I thought it was awesome coming from a comedian, one of my peers. It was amazing to me.
Mm.
Yeah, I thought what was funny was his mocking of the French actor Juicy Smollett. That was hilarious.
I mean, he covered Jesse. He covered Candace Owens, which yes. I think we throw the word coon around. I mean, I'm sure y'all saw the video, the coon song that went viral yesterday. Dude, I know Angela Stanton. I know some of those people that were in there, and I believe that we as people of color should be in the room. You know, whether it's Republican or Democrat, they're still part of the process, and we shouldn't demonize them because they're not on our side.
I don't know that that's true, Rodney. I know you want to say that, but it's the policies.
Okay.
Like when you sit up and say things about our community and culture that really are affecting us, we're okay. When you're willing to tolerate and actually allow them to put you over House and Human Services or put you on the Supreme Court, and all of a sudden things that come up for our community. She's just one example. There's several examples where we suffer because you're in the room. I don't mind you being in the room having a different approach. You might laissez-faire. You might believe in, there's some policies. But when you sit back and know what you're saying is hurting our people, it's canceled for you. That is what we can't tolerate. Yeah, Matt, just don't whoop them that bad. I mean, it is that way. And when you know they're paying you, because we wouldn't pay you, the only people paying her is another community to have you running around acting. It's different. You have brothers, okay, well, Bob Johnson say a Republican. He runs BET, but he doesn't say what she says. It's an economic proposition. It's economic participation in most Republicans that I know. It's not, oh, everything's okay. No, everything's not okay with this administration in particular. This administration really wanted to pull us all the way back. So you repping for somebody that really wants to hold us all the way back? That's what you repping for? I mean, you got to pick your time to shine. She picked the wrong time to shine for the wrong Republican. You say George Bush, and then you can say, okay, Morehouse Med School. Very different kind of relationship to the Black community. This cat is like, cancel them. No federal judges, nothing. And you're going to rep for him? You repping for the wrong person.
You know what, Munson, I completely agree, especially in terms of Candace Owens. I was really talking about some of the other people. I think she's just a talking point. She's almost not even a Republican. She's just like her own little personal storm. You know what I mean? So I'm not a fan of that young lady. If you watch her, like, I was like, who is this girl? And I was like, why don't none of the big Democratic Blacks come after her? The only one came and got her is like Roland Martin, but like Angela Rye. I'm like, Angela Rye, why don't she eat this girl up? And I'm like, okay, I don't think that she's relevant enough for the big Democrats that do that to even come get her. So it's kind of interesting that Dave Chappelle was the one that took the charge on that.
I think he pointed out something inside our community that's festering. And that's African Americans who literally in your moment are pandering to white people right now. There is an uprising. And if you're an African American not motivated to help and uplift our people and to tell your boss you need to change, because that's microaggression when I don't have no budget for Black people and they calling me. I'm over director of diversity and inclusion, and I can't include Black people because the marketing director you have has not called and allowed me, and I have to be a loud master to actually market to my people, or we're zero in the budget and you don't have the nerves to stand up. Yeah, we're actually canceling those kind of people. We're actually going to be able to expose you. And it's not getting any better, right?
But is that fair though, Munson? I mean, if you're in corporate America and you are, your whole livelihood is based on this job, you're not about to make no waves, are you?
That's what I was going to say.
But part of the aggression, part of the fact is, yes, in that particular situation, you can be discriminated against. And that's what it is. When we're talking about inside the culture, there are cultures that are literally getting sued right now because people are like, you know what? Pick the cotton. You literally said, go pick the cotton in a corporation, and they've heard it. This isn't one incident. These are incidences. So now everybody's looking at the incidences that you have in your organization where you've been attacking people microbly, commenting about their hair, and everybody kind of laughs. You touch my hair, that was an assault. Why didn't you guys call the police? We made the song, Solange.
Hey, Mother, again, I think you're right, but we forget real quick. I mean, we was mad at Papa John's. Now Shaquille O'Neal went over there, and now we eating Papa John's again. Like,
I'm not eating Papa John's. No, we not. Maybe. Y'all might be. I'm not eating Papa John's.
I got to admit, I did go over there and get that phone.
It's a conversation we need to have. It's a conversation, but my conversation is with Starbucks. You got to be able to say that. Can we own a franchise? Let's focus on ownership. We can own a McDonald's. Can we own a Starbucks, something that's winning? We want to be a part. I don't have a problem with Papa John's other than I got a problem with not just find one Negro that you like. See, that's the Negro pet. Mm-hmm. I want to find a community that wins with you. Not one Black person, not 5 Black people, a community that wins with you. I'm not for the one Negro principle. So you got Shaq, that's cool. But show me 10 Shaqs, then I respect the game.
Wow.
But see, Rodney, here's my problem as a millennial. And I think about comedians, I think about artists, and I think about influencers. You can't, and maybe it's me and Cass in a different time zone, but you can't come out 5 years later and say, oh, somebody did me wrong. Like, I get it, Good Morning America, how you treated her and what you said to her. But when we did report last week, this was 34 complaints later. 34? So what happened to the first 2? Like, I think what's happening right now, people are so quick to put people on blast, and they're not recognizing that it's partially it's gonna sound bad. It's partially your fault.
About movements, Romeo, is this is your moment to shoot the shot. You got 2 minutes. This is a social movement. It can truly expire in 2 seconds. And everybody has to shoot their best black shot. And you know what? It won't be because we didn't tell you. It won't be because you missed the moment.
But if somebody slapped me 2 years ago, what's the point of me talking about it now? You see what I'm saying? If somebody wronged me, that's the only problem I'm having with people. If somebody wronged me,
was recent though. What she said was recent.
No, that was 34
Robert
was 34.
Yeah, but that was her complaint.
What you're talking about is a culture that's lasted for 400 years, Romeo. This oppressive culture has lasted 44 years. We just got back to. There are a lot of black people that call me when everybody was turning up and talking. Their whole lens was, y'all shouldn't be acting that way. They're making us look bad. I had to call my guy and like, dude, like, are you sure you want to be on that side of this movement? Are you sure that's where you want to be? No, everything is under reevaluation. Don't get cool. Not now. Everything is under reevaluation. Every corporation right now is trying to figure out how do we put some diversity precautions in here and how do we hire more because we immediate. When you see great leadership like the guy at Netflix, he's like, black people pay me. I'm going to show right now so they can understand that I get the culture. I'm going to pick Howard or Spelman. I'm going to pick Morehouse. I'm going to give my money to UNCF.
How much is it pandering though, Munson? Like I see all of these like I play PlayStation. They got a Black Lives Matter, a banner up. Like, I guess we won't know. History will tell us. History will tell us if it's pandering, like you say, if they don't continue it. You know, there's still no original Black specials for comedians on Netflix. They only work with the top of the food chain of the Black world. There's some middle range white dudes you never heard of with specials on Netflix.
But that is something we can do together, Rodney. I'm happy to write the article, do the video. Positive thoughts of the day. Rodney, what's your positive thought of the day?
The positive thought is this, man, that we're winning, we're resilient. We're Black. We've been through slavery, we've been through Jim Crow, we've been through redlining, and we are still here, and we are winners. But we just got to keep winning.
Cass in the city.
My positive thought of the day is just know when, silence is powerful, know when speaking out is powerful, and choose wisely.
Pass the ball, Cass.
I know.
Whatever Cass said, don't speak quiet, be loud. Speak as loud as you want to speak and get it out of the way. Terry?
I think what Carrie said, what's the name of her business, Cass? Carrie.
Organic Flow.
Organic Flow.
Yoganic.
Yoganic Flow. And I think that the important thing very quickly is that when you're having a bad day, as I was today, and couldn't get it together, stop, breathe, take it easy, woosah, and then get it together. Man, it changed my whole morning around. I could not get it together. Now I feel so much better and I'm operating better. Stop, breathe, and then keep going. That's my word.
Thanks, Rodney Perry, for coming on.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
We love you. We love you. We love you. Love you. Love you. Love you. Love you. For all of you, the positive thought of the day for Munson Steve is you do not have to be in the streets, but you do have to be in the struggle. Peace. Rolling out. Wake up call. Rolling out. AM. We love you. We love you. We love all of you. Peace.
Thank you, Rodney.
Oh,
Holla back, Rodney. All right, thank you. Thank you, my brother.
Health IQ tonight, 6
Rollingout.com.
p.m. Health IQ tonight, 6 p.m.
Rollingout.com.
Go to rollingout.com.
Rollingout.com. Cassidy Rome. I just joked. We still recording. We live. Oh, we still live. Okay, look. Let me tell y'all. Shout out to Gail, Danielle, and D. And we still live. Cool. Rollout.com to get all your news, information, and what's going on.
Oh,
right
and
now.
also rolling out news on at 7 p.m. every night, weeknights.
Got Tank tonight, y'all. Got Tank tonight. Got Tank in the tank. Tank
And we will have the great intellectual and prolific author Kevin Powell will be on Thursday night at 7:30 on Rolling Out News. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. Rolling Out News. Rollingout.com.
Hosted by King James and Mustard Steve. We still live. Hosted by Mustard Steve.